All right, so our boy Samos the Sage got Princess Peached. We're out here trying to save him from the Citadel. The Citadel was such a badass name. Even oh wait, it's not showing up here. I always loved this entrance because it really fit the final boss back in the day theme. Like they did final bosses so much better back then. Honestly, calling my Citadel. Look at this shit, like a death walk into here, flickering lights, all this crazy ass machinery looking like a torture chamber. I think as the years went on by, final bosses have kind of they've been watered down. Even with the Jak and Daxter series in and of itself, final bosses got watered down too. I feel like Jak 3's boss didn't compare to this one. Jak X's final boss didn't compare to this one. Oh yeah, and you already know Lost Frontier's boss. Don't even get me started. Daxter's final boss was a meh. But this one and Jak 2 had some of the best final bosses ever. So this whole area, they knew what they was doing. It just felt like everything flowed like MUI in terms of perfectly. And calling my Citadel showing up right there being like the final area, that looks like a final area type of name and everything like that. So let's go. I'm gonna save the damsel in distress. Look at Jak's hair is shiny. Look at that souped up Oracle robot.
Nice to see you too. Do they have you mopping the floors now?
Gaul and Maya kidnapped us to sap our energies to power their abominable machine. It appears they have combined the functional remains of a precursor robot with scavenged artifacts from across the land. Then they added a few diabolical additions of their own, creating the one thing capable of opening the dark eco silos. If you can free the four of us, we can use our combined powers to break the force shield surrounding the robot before they use it to destroy the world.
Bro, this part right here, this area was always dope. Cause like, they all end up doing Kamehamehas. Even more to the Dragon Ball theme, all their beams look like Kamehamehas. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, you reach, what are you talking about? This being like Dragon Ball. I don't feel like it. Oh! That was also, that's still epic. Even though you're grabbing a corner of that piece, it just feels like one of the most badass ways to die too. Like you get Mufasa, but yo, you grabbed onto one of these things and the physics kind of pull you with it. I thought that was also still fun. I don't know why. I don't even mind dying there. But this area, it's more platform heavy. I don't feel like it's, even though it's more platform heavy and it's not as spammed out as Spider Cave. This is why after coming from Spider Cave to here, it's like, this is well designed platformer. Even though there's just hovering platforms and there's a bunch of them everywhere, and yeah, it's the final area it's expected, it didn't feel like, it feels like it's way more thought out than Spider Cave. Spider Cave feels like somebody scribbled and did their homework right in front of the teacher when it was due. Because I know I did that shit all the time. The teacher would be going around checking everybody's homework. I used to copy off my boys, and it's literally, that's what I felt like. That's the vibe it gives. Do your homework, kiddies. This is one hell of a puzzle too. All right, we're gonna drop him and bring it back up. Nerve-wracking. Bring that shit back up. I mean, nowadays you understand how to do this puzzle well, but first time going through that, I'm pretty sure that was something else.
We got company, Jak. Lots of lurkers.
And imagine like if this game came out modern day, right? What would they add? Would you think they would add level ups to the eco or something like that? I mean, you get new dark eco powers in the next games, but like you kill a certain amount of these lurkers or whatever. Look at this. Do we get more key blasts, rapid fire key blasts? I feel like now that we've added level ups in the Lost Frontier, I feel like that system should kind of carry over. Oh shit, oh shit. Just keep spinning, just keep spinning, just keep spinning, just keep spinning. They can kill me, they can kill me, they can kill me. No, 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 chill, chill, chill. Suck my nuts, suck my nuts, get out of here. Ow, bye, bye, bye.
Let's get going.
Yo. Barrage me with a bunch of gerbil nuts. Where is it? All these pizza slice looking platforms. And this shit. Alright, the camera's shitting on me. Even the final area of music, it sounds like Rayman or something, like boss level shit. They're gonna sap him of his power. They use him as a battery, like out of the Matrix. Ray tracing. Attack the demon Gerber buddies.
You finally come to rescue me. Do you know how long I've been in here? What took you so long? And what are your names?
I'm Daxter. He's Jack. He's with me.
Good job, Daxter. You're a real hero. You've got to stop Gaul from launching the robot. I'll use my eco power to help open the shield door.
You know, I wish I got to meet more villagers from their villages, because they're the Red Eco Sage's villagers. Look at that 10 times Kamehameha, by the way. That's how I always looked at that shit. Man's literally doing a Kamehameha into the blast, which is dope. I always wish I learned more about the villagers, because his villagers match him. And I think the only two we met were the miners, but still, you know what I mean? They matched. Then even going into the boggy rock village, the more depressive vibe matched them too. You got a crying warrior. And then even Samos's area, they're more green, like the bird lady and shit like that, you know what I mean? And loving animals like the Yakko guy, and more farmly. So it would have been cool to see more of Boggy Bill or the Hillbilly Yellow area. That would have been cool. And then more aggressive Black Air Force energy, I guess, or a grumpy ass 10 times Kamehameha Red Sage area. That would have been cool. Like just getting to know every area, seeing how every villager matches the area and how it reflects upon that. Getting more involved with it. That's why I always felt like Sandover Village is the most complete village, and the more attachment I have to that specific spot, because you know the people better. Chop all these pieces. It's just satisfying looking at all these pieces. Nice. Yeah, I like playing with fire on that one. Let's just try to make it to the end of this. I remember playing this like a year ago on these platforms, and I died at the very end. Maybe redo this whole thing. And not only that, I think this is a Blue Sage. We've done this so many times. The physics just literally try to wonk you with this shit. How long does this take, Outrageous Josh? How long does Spider Cave and this take him? I mean, there's the same as a Sage skip somewhere over there or something like that. Oh shit. Okay. So far, so good. No! Of course, every freaking time I thought I had more HP. I gotta do the whole thing over. This checkpoint sucks balls, man. Every time. Blue Sage. I got the thing open. I was just laser focused on just making it open, and I got zapped. Died. We're doing so good. I was trying to do this place perfect. Oh well. What you play next? You play another all-nighter? I'm not sure what I'm gonna be playing next, to be honest. I was supposed to play Deadlocked, which fuck. Alright, I gotta stop, guys. I'm in focus mode real quick. As soon as I break eye contact with this shit, I feel like Snape from Harry Potter. From no, not Snape. There was that part of Harry Potter, the first movie, where Professor Quirrell stared at Harry on the broomstick and he was trying to knock him off. As soon as he broke his eye contact, because of Snape catching fire, it broke his concentration and his ability to be connected with the game. And that's what be happening to me here. I think it's the movement of me moving my neck back and forth, just readjusting my eyes to wherever it was on screen. That shit, I've been doing that shit too much. It's the ADHD, bro. Fuck my life. Alright, back in the day when I first did this playthrough too, my videos are way more Gerber friendly, and I remember back in the day Alex had done his videos and his was more unfiltered, and ironically mine's became more unfiltered and his became more like Gerber friendly. Because I always, even when I look back at my old videos, part of the reason why I was so shy and nervous too is because when I was trying to filter so much of what I was saying, and now I don't give a fuck. After the Last of Us 2 review, I was like, bro, just fuck this shit. Fuck the filters. Zap that shit, come on. I'm gonna use a little bit of the momentum of this thing. Yo, fuck this shit. Oh! Harry Potter got arrested? What the fuck? You like how the Crash games are so similar to Crash Bandicoot's movement? I mean, Jak and Daxter's movement? Yeah, that's what I agree with, and that's why I love this game too. It felt like it was definitely like a Crash Bandicoot. This was like the true Crash Bandicoot 4 that they always kind of wanted. I don't like the new Crash Bandicoot 4. I don't know why people say that that one kind of matches the 1, 2, and 3. Nah, man, it's like the equivalent of me playing Modern Warfare 3 compared to Modern Warfare 2. It's made by different studios, different hands on that shit. It's made by different people. It's not the same studio. It's not the... It doesn't feel like what they would have really been the true successor to it. When people say that shit, I was like, yo, I want to slap the fuck out of you for that. It's not the same team. It does not feel like the what really would have came next in succession. There's so many parts of the design philosophy that does not match what they were originally intending. I'm like, yo, do you not have senses when it comes to this shit? Hiding stuff off screen or making it that you have to die for some of these things does not match what they originally ever did. How does that come into design progression? That's regression. It just feels like different hands are in the kitchen on that one. The blasphemy. You like Crash 4, but it was ridiculously hard. It's probably because you're better than me at that game, bro. That shit. I felt like the parts where they're hiding gems off screen and making certain things that you hide, I was like, no.
Must not be allowed to wreak its terrible havoc. I will try to actuate the shield door by eliciting a conduit of energy between myself and the vast portal below.
This guy just said, I'm gonna do Kamehameha.
You do that. We'll just go find more help. Weirdo!
Bro, he sounds like me when I first said, oh, let's play. But it was also that part of Crash 4 that was where you're riding that creature, and there was one area where you're just riding from this creature, and the area forces you to only go forward. But this creature kind of controls like the Crash Bandicoot 3, kind of like the Flut, but it does not let you go backwards on the course. And I was like, bro, this is a game coming out 20 years later, and they regressed in that part. I was like, how can I move backwards in Crash 3? But this one, this camera was all buggy. I remember this was back when the game first came out. Maybe they patched it, but that shit was like, yo. It was a super long game as well. Ridiculously hard. But yeah, that too. It was... And some of the areas of the boxes is like, yo, I felt like they just spammed some boxes in there. They're like, okay, so we got to up the difficulty from Crash 3 to 4. But the fact that they just decided, hey, maybe we just got to up the difficulty, I feel like that doesn't necessarily fit design philosophy with certain things. You know what I mean? Like with Jak 2 and 3, they actually lowered the level of difficulty. From Jak 1 and 2, yeah, they upped it. But I felt like Crash 4 was harder than Jak 2. And there's a balance. They went way too out of balance with it. Like from Crash 1 to 3, Crash 3 is easier than Crash 1. How is Crash 4 harder than them all? And intentionally on some parts, you know what I mean? Like, I felt like they spammed more boxes, hid more stuff off screen that never used to match the old design philosophy. And then, I don't know. Maybe we should replay it. Revisit that shit. I might have to jump back for all of these. I just missed one Precursor orb. This was also a dope area. I love this one because it just literally feels like you're a master of the eco. One area you're using yellow eco and red eco to power through all these Gerbers. They could do more. They could definitely do more if they ever remake it. I'm probably gonna have to jump back. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to jump back. Yeah, you don't make it at the end in the right amount of time. Damn. This room was probably the fairest, but look at this shit. It's so ominous with all these precursor things looking like the silos and whatnot. Not the silos, also the catacombs. Like if you fall down here, you're gonna end up in the room with the precursor at the center of the planet. staring at us from whatever simulation TV that they're looking at us from, like gods, and extorting us for precursor orbs for some big booty bitches. Yo, grab this. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I gotta make sure to miss any. Neil Cuckman is a Gerber. Oh, yo, that's giving him a compliment. He's even worse. Gerbers can write better scripts than that dude. Oh, thank you. Yo, Boggy Bill over here. Yellow Eco Sage. His aerial is probably the best one to grab his safety. The other ones are you love the flood. I love the flood too.
Who would have thought I'd live to see the day when I needed
The
to be
original.
rescued by a boy and his muskrat?
Yeah, doggy.
I'm gonna give Gall and Maya a little payback for this embarrassment. Then we'll see about cooking up some muskrat stew.
Yo, those lightning balls in the area.
And now Samos is being summoned. This was cool. It's like almost someone's watching me trying to do this shit. Bro, look at this. So this was, look at this whole array of Kamehamehas as a Gerb. This is what I was thinking in 2001. You got regular Kamehameha. Look at that. It's literally a beam stroke. Are you telling me Dragon Ball Z didn't influence this? Then you got Gohan's Kamehameha against Majin Buu's egg. The yellow one that was in the Budokai games. You got 10 times Kamehameha from the GT games. And, I grabbed that too soon, didn't I? Wait, hold up. Do I need to go across this entire thing with that? And then you're gonna have Samos's, which is green healing, which is like some kind of Namek power. It was Cell's Kamehameha, if I remember correctly. No, Cell's or somebody had a green beam. But everybody's using Kamehameha at the end here, and I was like, bruh. It's fantastic. This is wonderful, it's wonderful. There we have about 5 strudels. Now you've got 5 strudels in the scout flies. I didn't even realize I got 5 yet, so it's crazy how we got those, yeah. Yeah, I look away for a second, he retracted his beam. You seen that shit? There's the other scout fly, yeah. Wow. Hey, yo, the physics. It pulled me sideways, bro. 6. Drop this. Now we go to Samos. Damn. This area always felt a lot longer as a kid. Getting through just some of those obstacles. Red Eco Sages was alright. Blue Eco Sages one is a dickhead move because he's trying to get that that door open with all that blue eco charged and those burners. That one was tough. That's the toughest one. And then yellow ecos was fair. Red ecos was cool. You just power it through. It kind of matches everything. One's more of an agility course and all that shit. Camera bugging on me. You see this monstrosity. Yeah, camera was bugging there for a second. Cameras can make or break video games, bro. That looked like a floating precursor orb for a second. Let me get up top. I think we almost got all 2,000. You love the Yellow Sage? Yellow Sage, I felt like he was one of the dopest characters, but that's also why I always wanted the Yellow Sage village. That was some bullshit, bro. The fact that we don't get Yellow Sage's village, I would love to have seen his population and stuff. We had Boggy Bill in the middle of the swamp, but even if all of his people was like that in the rest of his village, if it was to be like that, I wouldn't have minded that. If we had a bunch of shooters, I feel like there would have been a bunch of shooters. He got his own gun. I always felt like we were missing out on something amazing with his village, bro. He seemed like he lived up to the hype. I was expecting somebody a little bit more serious, though. I was expecting like another Samos. Like I loved how geeky the blue guy was and how powerful the red one was, and I was expecting Yellow Sage to be more like what Gal would have been before the Dark Eco, but they completely put a spin on that and made him like this, and I was like, it still works. It still works somehow. And bam. An odd 470 number for 2,000 of the 2,000 precursor orbs, 100% to the payo. And there's the final power cell, freeing Samos from the clutches, freeing Princess Peach.
Good work, boys. You're real heroes now. I'll combine my green eco power with the other 3 sages, and together we'll open the shield door surrounding the Precursor robot.
Yeah, that sounds like a good start. And then after you guys open that shield, what are you gonna do about the robot?
Nothing,
Smart
Daxter.
questions.
We have to keep the shield open. It's up to you two to figure out how to destroy the robot.
Oh, great. I get to help the guy that turned me into a furball destroy the only person who can turn me back.
That was so sad. I felt bad for him.
Save the world.
Especially knowing there was no Jak 2 at the
Then we'll
time.
try to convince Gaul to help Daxter.
You're too late, Samos. Once I possess limitless dark eco, I will have the key to creation itself.
This is madness. Releasing that much dark eco will destroy
This is
everything
madness.
we know. Just look what it's done to you.
It has given
He
us
said, "You ugly as shit, boy."
you could understand.
In her case, she's right. It de-aged her.
You two look in the mirror like
She was 65.
Just wait until we open the silos, little one. You think short and fuzzy is bad.
And to think, you two traveled all this way for my help. Fools! Enjoy your front row seats to the recreation of the world!
They would have 100% should have came back as Jak 3 as the Dark Maker's pawns or minions, because they agree with all that philosophy ahead of the times. Wow. It's like Gaul was onto some shit. More so than Errol. Errol was contacting them and stuff like that, but I feel like he was a pawn compared to what these guys were on. They felt like they were the more advanced users, 100%. A Dark Eco Sage would have been 100% like the real link to the Dark Makers. They're coming out of these silos after all those years of like holding their skills like if it was a hyperbolic time chamber. Oh my god, the sky, the gate to Jak 2, the music. You see this giant beast at the end here. Oh my god, they meant to hit this one. This note always slaps. Yo, you see that thing hovering like a monster over this one chamber with all the dark eco, the tensions, and reaching the very end with this music. One of the greatest boss battles I've ever seen in my life, bro. One of the greatest boss battles I've ever seen in my life. God damn, look out here. We got the warp gate. Core is about to fly through that shit. I think you could see even the other areas from here. If the fog was not, the sky looks amazing. The sky was not like this in Jak 3. I know I'm harping on Jak 3 a little bit here, but like, this is how you do a final boss battle. This is how you do it. The last silo. Put it back and go. Nostalgia. It's just a battle of straight eco. And literally Jak 3 tried to do the same thing here where there's like, you have eco all over the field. I feel like it's almost the same kind of layout, but this one is still supersedes it because like, look at this. You got eco everywhere. You got a vent. They did the same exact concepts in Jak 3. Because Jak 2, you didn't have no vents, and we barely got to use Dark Jak, even though he powered up in the cutscene before Core and shit like that. And he could have really had it hammered into him and stuff like that if he was able to use more. So I can see what they were trying to do, but it's like Dark Jak and Light Jak was so OP at the time that they had to. I feel like they should have been a little bit more creative. I feel like this Oracle robot was more menacing than the giant llama camel. Like this looks way more badass. This in Core looks way more badass.
Finish them both off once and for all.
Like look at that thing. Viger's robot looked fresh as hell too with the lightsabers and everything. I don't know if it's just me. That's a Black Air Force Energy Oracle robot. It literally looks like that shit was touched by Black Air Force Energy / Hetty / it's on demon time. These guys straight up said, yo, we're gonna take your secret artifacts and we're gonna put that shit on demon time. You hear us? Giant nukes going off. So his own version of all the ecos too. Like look at this. This is like yellow eco. Just now we fought against red eco. I guess we fought against green eco as well as with the creation inside this one. He's mixing all these ecos together. It was dope. And I'm fighting with it like in a Lightbringer way. This kind of remind me of something. Oh, the last shot worked! This was amazing. One of the greatest boss battles in gaming, bro. Oh my god. First time seeing this thinking that they said white eco. Look at that cloud.
Light eco.
But it's light eco.
Does exist.
They must not be allowed to get it.
It's because of him.
Light ego! That could be the stuff to chain me back! Or might stop that robot. Stay fuzzy, save the world. Choices.
Yo, they hyped up light eco so much right here.
Okay, fine. We'll save the world. But do it quickly before I change my mind.
In Jak 3, I spazzed out when you got light Jak, but it didn't hit like this one because he was like, yo, you have the power to maybe change Daxter back, like what we've been on this entire time, wanted to see this man get changed back because it was like he was cursed. But, oh man, they dropped a whole bunch of nukes on my head. Everything's about to end. All this light eco dropping, and then you touch this Ultra Instinct. Oh my god, the sound effect, him landing like that. When you get like Jak and Jak 3, don't hit like that, bro. For the first time, nah, not yet. That's the way he lands. Oh my god. You just one hit him with all that power. The sun shows up. You got this happy-go-lucky moment. You do a Crash Bandicoot looking dance. Let's go. We were hoping for Daxter to change back, but...
Well, it looks like I may have been too hard on you boys. You do have what it takes to be heroes.
The sunrise.
Daxter, now we can't change you back.
Don't worry about me, baby. You know what they say. Big things come in small packages.
Jack,
Those eyebrows,
you
bro.
have an incredible talent for channeling eco.
The test was so
Samos,
below that.
You may have been right about this one after all.
And Kira, without your help and ingenuity, none of this would have been possible.
I mean, Samos had future knowledge.
Perhaps we've found another sage now that Gaul and Maya are lost.
And this is as far as Lost Frontiers developer played.
The Dark Eco probably destroyed
Another sage.
Probably.
Probably.
Ah, who cares? Bring him on! We can take him again! Right, Jak? I said, right, Jak?
Should have been the return for the bosses in Jak 3.
Wow! Put it on ice, big guy!
I would have threw him off the cliff. That's why I was happy that he didn't get transformed. You cock-blocked me. Developed by Naughty Dog. Let's see. Andy, Gavin, Jason, Rubin. These were the old school team, bro. Those two names are the ones that I remember being at the top of the development team. Andy, Gavin, Jason, Rubin. Those two right there. Evan Wells was now one of the new guys up there, and he's a little bit more of a vagina for what I've seen, because apparently Neil Druckmann and him are like doing whatever butt sex shit. So anyway, let me see if y'all spawn Neil Druckmann in here. Was he here at this time? We'll give him a streamer next. We're gonna have to poll it. We're gonna poll it. Cock block in 3, 2, 1. Bob Raffay is the artist. Okay. Morgan or Cyrus. They even... Yeah, the dog gets credit. I love them. This team... As soon as you started seeing For Morgan disappear from the Naughty Dog credits... Do they still show For Morgan in the Naughty Dog credits? That's where you started to see some shit change. It was no longer for their dog at the office. No, really, it wasn't really even Naughty Dog anymore. Now it's Butt Sex Dog. As soon as they got rid of For Morgan, I always was so hyped whenever I used to see For Morgan, even though I didn't even know it was for the dog. I always thought it was just a friend. But then you find it's an actual dog. I was like, oh man, that's even better, bruh. Whatever happened to Morgan in the credits? They still show it. Let me know. Has anybody seen Neil Druckmann? These are play testers. They all knew what they was doing, except for Spider Cave. Whoever was assigned Spider Cave lived better.
Shuhei Yoshida. I know that name. Big head of Sony Studio. We saw Sony games in there as well.
I used to follow all of these names just to figure out what they did in the jobs and shit like that. I never had to cover E3 content. Wow. DeMarlo. Ryoichi. There's a Ryoichi up in here. Some serious Japanese names, you see? This is why the game came out so good. We got a lot of Fujishiki, Kobayashi, Tuso Somi Adira. They hired a lot of Japanese talent. You see that? They know what they're doing. It. Sound managers. Look at this. Akira. You hired than Akira. You ought to know you're doing good. Isabel. Imogen Baker. Turner. Gibson. I don't see any Neil Druckmann. Everybody else is a badass here. Badass credit scene, some dark ego in the background, amazing adventure, amazing story, badass super hype moment where it's like literally, all right, do we change you back or do we just blast this dude right now? Light eco appearing, combining all the elements, being the opposite of dark eco. Everything that just happened right there, just quick, fast paced to the action, and one of the greatest boss battles I would still say to this day, using all this eco, using everything she learned on this adventure. Man!
Holy yakko! What could that be?
Wow! It's an ancient precursor door.
Holy toggle.
It looks like it will only open if we fill all 100 holes with power cells.
Hey, yo.
We're heroes, remember? We have 100 power cells.
Kevin Conroy. There's only 3 at X. Okay. Even filling this shit. I mean, some of these spots, I was like, how did they fill 100 on here evenly? But they did repeat. Kira, the future sage in the background. And then bam. The gates opened.
Wow! What is it?
It's so beautiful.
By the Precursors.
And you just see this ominous opening, leaving it in a giant cliffhanger. But you know, it looks completely different to some extent. Like, even though it's the ripped ring in the second one, imagine you open it right there and that's when Core flies out and just starts busted ass right here. It would have been something else, but what would you guys give this game out of 10? Let me know in the comments right now. Out of 10, what do you guys give this game? God? I fuse my 3 Egyptian god cards with toggle to form the ultimate goat. Eric says 10 out of 10. Nothing slaps like this final game music, final game environment, final game boss. They should have brought Gall and Maya back for 3. Oh man. I liked Gall and Maya. They were a badass duo for whatever little screen time they got. I still feel like they're a bigger threat than Errol. I don't like Robot Errol. I like Organic Errol. As sus as that sounds, he was more badass than 2. Gall and Maya in this game, they slapped different, bro. Even them like kidnapping the sages, the hype of Gall Acheron since the beginning of this hut, hearing that he was this great sage that was learning about the ego, could have changed Daxter back. Like, finding the key to changing Daxter back was really what the goal was really genuinely about. Like, I was so hyped about that, and then knowing at the last minute you gotta give that up to save the world. It happens so fast, but all those things do slap. Wow. Wow, Silv says 10 out of 10 poor. Oblivion says 10 out of 10. Free Paper says 10 out of 10. Neil Druckmann needs to be fired. Nightmare King 10 out of 10. Marissa says 10 out of 10. Matthew says 10 out of 10. Crawford 20 out of 10. Dr. Noah 10 out of 10. Matthew a million out of 10. Hey Paul, yo, you finally got this game 100% complete. Let's go. Definitely 9 out of 10. KG says 9 out of 10. Yo, I actually agree. Especially with this port, I would give it a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10, the lowest. And when I'm off of this like end game high, I would say even 10 out of 10. 9 to 10 out of 10, honestly. It's somewhere in between. I just wish, like, the few things I would change. I wanted the Yellow Sages Village, knowing that the Yosemite part got cut. Like, if they added the cut content, 100% this is a 10 out of 10 game. Like, this game still slaps like no other. Still one of my greatest top games of all time. I don't think this game falls. There's no way this game is lower than a 9. Like, honestly, at least everybody's accurate in the comments. It's crazy. It's crazy how good it is. Yeah, we just finished it. But yo, most of the fan consensus here 10 out of 10, and I can't say that this is any lower than a 9. There's no way anybody could give this an 8 out of 10. I don't feel like that even matches. This adventure, the technical parts of it, there's no loading scenes. This whole world's connected. Day and night cycles. Everything continues into one world where you see the eco beam connecting to stuff, not in this cutscene, but it's there. The flood stuff, the eco vents. all continuing throughout the world. The characters, they're all bright and colorful. The music is underestimated technically too, like that final boss music, the scenery, the final boss itself, the hype between Light Eco, Gal and Maya, them basically preaching what the Dark Makers were gonna do anyway, and all the foreshadowing that kind of made it fit into the other games. It doesn't seem like it was really written if you really look at it for the second games, but it's left open-ended. But some of the stuff that they're preaching from these Oracle statues still work. Geyser Rock and Misty Island on the outskirts. Yo, this series is 100 out of 100. This is still one of the most amazing things. Any key binding? If there's any change your minds, 10 out of 10. Oh, what do you mean for like key binding? You need to be here for Jak too. Hell yeah, yo. This game still has such a special place in my heart. There's nothing that slaps like this one. It is one of the most relaxing games to play because it's still a happy-go-lucky goober game, but still with some dark undertones, still carries some dark places. The mood of the areas change. I don't know what it is, but this is one of the few games where like your mood changes. When you're in, for me personally, I'm in Sandover Village, everything's green and luscious, I just feel more upbeat. I go to the beach area, I feel more upbeat. I go to the jungle, I feel like I'm an explorer, I feel like it's a little bit more ominous. You go to Rock Village, you feel a little, it's rainy and depressy over there, you got the Crying Warrior, your mood kind of shoots down to that area. The Precursor basing, it's all stormy energy. The Lost Precursor City, you feel like it's Atlantis. Boggy Swamp, you feel like you're in a bogged down mood. Then you go into the Volcanic Crater, you feel more hot and like heated over there. And then you go to Snowy Mountain, it's chill, it's got that Christmas vibe. You go to Spider Cave, it's like a little bit more of a random exploring vibe. Then you go to the end, it feels like a final boss area, as perfect as it could possibly be. And this game was invented in what, 1 to 2 years time on PS2 hardware with all these limitations. Nah, it's a 10. Holy shit, when you really put all of that stuff into account, bro, compared to what we're getting nowadays. They took how many years between Last of Us 1 to Last of Us 2? And think about it. Last of Us 1 was 2013. Last of Us 2 is 2020. They take that many years to create that. But in Jak and Daxter, they had less hardware, less resources, less notoriety. And this is what they popped out versus that. Come on, man. Oh, man. You don't think you would have played this game if you didn't play when you were younger? To be honest, I feel you, but that's still a solid score. Shout outs to you to keep this game relevant. Now, shout outs to everybody in here for keeping this game relevant, man. Y'all still being the fans that you are, still being able to talk to people like this. You see how passionate the fandom is? Most of y'all said that this is a 10 out of 10. That's passion. And like, bro, when you really look at the magic they did with this, it's one of the greatest adventure games I ever played. If y'all ever played Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, it kind of hits that note too. Like these open world adventure games, no map, doing what they wanted, like full creativity on blast. Other games wasn't doing this before. It's on that note where it's like full creativity, it's limitless potential. Y'all are out there doing what, not copying other games, they're actually doing their own thing. That's why I respect this game as much as I do. Like they weren't really copying other games when they did this one. Jak 2, they did start to copy GTA because it sold so much and it's so badass, but I don't harp on that for that. But this one, it's a creative ass project. And everybody brought their A game. Like I said, there is cut content now, knowing this as an adult, but it still slaps as good as it did when I was a kid. If they had given me Yellow Eco Sages Village, and maybe that Yosemite area, I would have been like a Gerber baby walking into a candy store. Paul, had you played Spider-Man 2 on PS2? I played Enter Electro. I didn't really play... I played Spider-Man 1 on PS2. Keeping the OG games alive is what you live for. These OG games got so much replay value. Sly 1, 2, and 3, Jak 1, 2, and 3, Ratchet Clank 1, 2, and 3. They got more replay value than nowadays' games. It's crazy. Yeah, the last game had the same feeling like it was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I feel you. When are you gonna post the Ape Escape videos? I have them ready probably within the next couple of weeks. We got videos on the Super Saiyan Paul gaming channel, which is this is where I'm gonna be posting all of these clips at. So make sure you guys subscribe to it. We got videos like till the end of November pretty much. So we've been doing a lot of good work and it's been pretty damn epic. And changing keyboard controls. I mean, key binding. I mean, yeah, but technically I'm using a PS5 controller on this. So That's the amazing part. This port right here, this fan-made port, is the definitive edition of this game. It's better than the PS3 port. It's better than the PS4 port. It's better than playing the PS4 port on the PS5. It's got the best graphics. It's moddable. It has subtitles, which the game couldn't even ship with that in the HD collection, which is crazy to me for this first one. So this PC port, oh man. Low-key, I want to go smoke a fat spliff and play this game all over again. Yo, 9 to 10 out of 10, bro. Oh my god. Ay, 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 ay. I know I be complaining during spider caves in like certain areas, but bruh. This is such an adventure. It just be leaving you off of like a high. Oh man. Should you get a Switch for Breath of the Wild? Hell yeah. These open world adventure games, especially when these first came out, it's the greatest thing ever. Anyway, guys, we're gonna end it off here. Thank you guys so much for watching, being a part of this. We'll be returning soon. I'm gonna be posting a poll on the channel of what games we should play next. Thank you guys so much for the support and for watching and lending your opinions and being a part and lending your energy. I'll be seeing you guys next time. All right, guys, be safe. Enjoy your Monday at the time of this recording, and yeah, see you guys soon. All right, young muddy baby.